This is just how being a chondro breeder, just it is what it is. I was telling Bill that my first clutch this year, I only hatched out one baby out of originally 15 eggs. And it was yellow out of mixed pairing, and it was the only one that survived was yellow. And I saw all the other dead ones out of the egg. It literally would have been my last pick of the yellows. It would have been my last pick of the entire clutch, and it was the only one that survived. But I still love that fucking snake, and I'm not going to sell it.
I'm gonna get Patrick to teach me how to pick out yellows.
Yeah,
because I have no idea.
He has to hatch some first.
Yeah, I was like, what do you even know about hatching out a yellow, Bill?
Yeah. And well, that was my first live yellow to hatch because since 2012, it was the first live one that I've had. But I've had a few others that didn't make it, and I'm not going to say any names here, but me and some of my chondro breeder friends have become very cynical to this shit.
No, it's absolutely. I'm the most pessimistic person like in the world concerning chondros.
You have to be masochistic to be a chondro breeder too. But when one really, really well-known breeder, I sent him a picture of a couple of dead yellows in the egg, and he said, "Man, you dodged a bullet on that one."
Brutal. That's so heavy.
Savage, dude. And somebody just the other day, when I showed him some more dead yellows, just a couple of days ago from the Biot clutch, same actually repeat of the pairing with the other breeder, Mark. This guy, a very good friend of mine, a real low-key guy, but a really experienced guy, he said, I think you have a pretty, on the subject of sample size, he said, I think you have a pretty good sample size now to prove that yellows are inferior.
Because they're all dead.
Because they're all dead, and I can't hatch one to save my life. But I can't hatch reds to save my life this year either, so.
Let me ask you this, Patrick. Sure. I mean, is it easy, and you can answer this too, Bill, but is it easy to say if a clutch, like you have designer snakes give you a clutch, right, and it's red and yellow, does it mean for sure every single red's going to be better than every single yellow?
No, it depends on the lineage.
Okay.
Yeah, for sure.
And you feel like, I mean, you being the keeper you are, you feel like it's easy for you to tell if a yellow's going to be better than a red?
Yeah, but and again, it depends on the lineage, and even then, I don't care what kind of predictions you make. They'll throw you curveballs. I don't care how good you are at picking out babies.
So yellow could be possibly as good as a red, is what you're saying?
Absolutely. It totally depends on the lineage. Like, for example, high yellow bloodlines. My favorite high yellows were red babies, but they're very rare animals, right? Like really awesome red high yellows, like the ones that ends up like tiger stripe stuff, with it's like an orangey look or whatever. But yellow is
most of them are coming from
yellow babies, and high yellow is the easiest extreme trait to reproduce, and like reduced pattern yellow babies are what you want to hold back if you're looking to have a high yellow homes. So that's just an example, but here's another one. Look at locality type animals. Say you got a Maniquari pair. I'm going to want to hold back my reds because I like reds, right? But if you look at wild type Maniquari, if you want an animal that's just strikingly beautiful, Sorong, this applies to Sorong too, your red could go high blue. It has that potential to go high blue. Or it could be a green snake with some really faded blue markings. But your yellow with that bold pattern is going to have a bold blue pattern.
MJ's got a good example of that.
When
you showed us
us,
earlier
right?
today.
That's a perfect example. And so I like reading the arguments, the yellow versus red arguments. And I hate to say it, you guys, I love all you guys, but nobody nails it on that. Nobody. If I made a joke that maybe the last time this popped up, that if you like run through this thread, you can like snip out bits and pieces of like 30 reasonable people's comments and maybe form some semblance of like the actual decent answer to that question. And a lot of guys have a lot of good points on it. In the end, who gives a fuck? And what do you like? Anytime anybody asks me about breeding chondros and what they should buy and all this stuff, I'm like, what do you like? What snakes do you like? Fuck the market. Fuck what other people think. Fuck who said whatever about red and yellow babies. What do you like? Buy those and breed those.
And you get that quite often, don't you, Patrick? Like, because you understand the chondro, market's growing. You have so many ball python breeders coming in and then getting addicted to chondros. And I do talk to a lot of people that do say, "Oh, I've spoke to Patrick." I talk to a lot of people that say they spoke to you. So that makes me think, how many people are asking you for like, hey, what should I start with? Or like, should I do a yellow or a red first? Or, I mean, are you always getting asked that?
Some of my friends jokingly call me the chondro consultant. I honestly,
It's not a joke.
I'm not as active on social media lately because I've just been busy shit and it's been a shit show year for me. But the amount of time, shit, ask my girlfriend. The amount of time that I spend helping people out in private messages is ridiculous. It's ridiculous. But that's the way that I like to do it. It's more personal, right? When you're helping somebody in a more private setting, right? So
that's how we met.
Yeah, absolutely.
And we're lucky. We have a lot of local people here that are getting into chondros and are already in them big time.
I have yet to be able to hatch out enough babies to even go to Texas, which is awesome. I like to, like you said earlier, I like to do as many years as I can.
For sure.
Let me ask you this, guys. With Texas market growing, right? Like, do you feel like at some point you're going to start seeing chondros at these Arlington shows? Like, do you think we'll ever cross a point where there will be enough people producing chondros? And we could just say in the state of Texas, we will start seeing them available at shows.
I hope so. I'm optimistic on one hand, but I'm pessimistic on the other because people have been breeding these things in captivity since the 70s.
Yeah.
And, there just has never been a flooding of the market. It's always, produce as many as you can because they'll all sell. They sell fast. But hopefully we're learning more and more every year about producing them. I feel like I'm learning less and less every year because, they're just so unpredictable what they do. But I'm optimistic that one of these days we'll have enough to meet the demand. Right now we don't.
Now, if you kind of talk about your ball python production demand, do you feel like you're even fulfilling that right now? Because you do have your set of projects that you do every year, right?
Yeah.
But your stuff does blow off the shelves pretty quick. So do you feel like there's even more that you could even produce, or do you feel like you can't even keep up with? The demand with ball python?
Again, I've been very pessimistic about the ball python market. I've been doing it 20 years, and every year I think this is going to be the year that I produce too many, and I'm not going to be able to sell them.
Right.
It's never happened, in 20 years. And so I just think I think we're just touching the tip of the iceberg because I've got several reptile vet friends, and they say by far the biggest increasing market in pets are the reptiles and snakes in particular because they're so easy.
Well, I mean, who was it?
I was just going to say, and it seems to just be, rolling on itself, and it just seems to, I don't know, it just continues to have this energy and this more and more people are just jumping on board. 5 years ago, they would never have a snake. Now their 8 or 9 year old kid wants one.
Right.
So
I don't know who it was. I don't know if you remember, Matt, but who said it to where like the dog market, like the mammal market, is nowhere nearly as what it was, and how much popular the reptile market is growing. Just because how easier the maintenance is. Like, there's people nowadays they're just too lazy to even take care of a dog.
It's classic millennial. Classic millennial. I mean, put it in a box and forget about it for a couple weeks.
Yes.
We'll come back to it later.
I'm nowhere near responsible enough to care for a dog. Not even close, man. You give me 100 snakes, I can stuff them in a corner and forget about them. That dog is needy as fuck.
True that.
Dogs require daily care. My snakes, if my house is anywhere between like 70 and 85 degrees and everybody has water, I can bail for a fucking month. If I don't have neonate chondros, don't have to worry about it.
It's true.
Can you talk about this red wine that we're drinking? It's really delicious.
Well, this is it's Decoy. It's a 2019 and it's from Cali.
That's a Cali wine. Very clear, Bill. All right, so story time, real quick. We're hearing about Bill having 20 plus years with ball pythons, and how many years with carpets?
Oh God, 15.
15 years, right?
Yeah.
And then Patrick comes into his life, right? So Patrick, let's talk about the first time you met Bill and you saw the collection he had and the enclosure and whatnot. We kind of break down, because this is a story I just found out an hour ago, and I was like, wow, let's talk about this on the podcast. Because
we didn't know each other.
No,
we both live in the Dallas area.
currently being attacked by a Yeti.
A Yeti.
A polar bear or something. I don't know what the fuck this thing is. Where are you? So the first time I met Bill would have been at a show, because he was occasionally vending shows. But I actually bought a carpet python that Bill produced from Michael Pinnell. He was selling a few of your animals on his table at a show, and it was a Jag sibling. And
Michael's the OG, man.
Michael Pinnell, shout out
I'm proud to
Michael
even be
Pinnell.
able to say that he had one of my snakes on his table.
Yes, yes.
He's awesome.
Michael Pinnell produces, and sorry to a couple other guys, but he produces the best striped carpets. Sorry,
Oh yeah, I'm sure Jason's all watching the podcast.
Yeah. And Michael Pinnell's good people.
Thank you for watching this week's Trap Talk with MJ podcast clip. Please remember to like, share, and subscribe. That way you're on top of every single Trap Talk clip that's released here every week. And that way you're on top of every single podcast that comes out every Thursday, Saturday, Sunday, and Monday here on the Trap Talk with MJ YouTube channel, where we bring all the hottest up-and-coming reptile keepers and all the most experienced, hottest reptile keepers in the reptile game. We will see you here next week with another Trap Talk clip, and we're out. Cheers!